Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is the first Acupuncture is My Life podcast for 2023. Isn't that cool? I hope everyone brought in the New Year safely and made New Year's resolutions, or made a resolution that says that they are going to start seeing an acupuncturist this year. Okay? Because that's very important, and we're all in search of optimal health in our lives. And the best place to start is with an acupuncturist. It's important that the first thing you do, not go to the gym, not change or adjust your diet. You'll sit down with your acupuncturist and you'll go over that stuff. So that'll be secondary to seeing an acupuncturist. Because there's so much good in sitting with an acupuncturist. It will change your life, like, for the better, of course. But guess what? All right, what's going to be my first topic of 2023? Let's see. Let's talk about pancreatic cancer. Let's go there. And I'm saying that because I've had several people contact me, and they were concerned about signs and symptoms of pancreatic cancer, and what can they do? How can they prevent it? And this is for you. First of all, you made the right move. You contacted Acupuncture is My Life. You actually put an acupuncturist in your life. Okay? That was the best move you made so far. And the interesting part is, in discussing pancreatic cancer actually carries a very poor prognosis. And the arrows are pointing up. That poor prognosis is increasing. Understand something. The pancreas, like, to an acupuncturist, the functions of the pancreas is somewhat, believe it or not, similar to the way in which we see the spleen. And this is why we emphasize the importance of the middle jowl, which consists of the spleen and stomach, and being responsible for all postnatal chi and blood and so forth. And I say this in some of my podcasts when I've gotten individuals contact me and want to discuss the spleen recycles red blood cells and blah blah blah, and that would help them understand and get it. Okay, because like acupuncture, let's say some, I don't know, close to 4,000 years ago, the organ that is now in Western society called the pancreas was actually seen as the spleen in the history of acupuncture. So just a little side note. But when it comes to pancreatic cancer, it has the highest mortality rate of all major cancers out there. And globally, it's somewhere around, give or take, it's around the third leading cause of cancer-related death. And that usually follows like lung and colon cancer. And its symptoms usually don't present itself until the later stages. So you're going to be like in those latter, intermediate, leaning into or already at later stages of pancreatic cancer, where for most individuals it's pretty much too late. Which is why it carries a very poor prognosis, which is increasing. But understand, the pancreas makes digestive enzymes and hormones, which controls blood sugar and as well as activities of the digestive tract. So whenever you hear me speak of spleen and stomach, sort of think pancreas and stomach, okay? And you see, most pancreatic cancer tends to arise from cells that usually make up the lining of the tubes that conduct digestive juices into the intestines. So it's emptying its juices into ducts, that's the exocrine functions of it. It has endocrine functions as well. But it's pretty hard for medical doctors to screen for pancreatic cancer. Now, you can be presenting with pancreatic cancer, see an acupuncturist. And there's certain ways we can pick up that there may be something wrong with the pancreas and then send you for further testing. But of course, there's no routine screening that can detect it. And this is why it's often overlooked. And its survival rate, once you're diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, it's somewhere in the ballpark of around 8, 9, 10%. Whereas by the time it's normally diagnosed, surgery is usually the remaining, for the most part. I never speak in absolute terms, but surgery is usually the only chance or of the remaining chance for cure. And that's around 20% of cases. And the reason why for the most part, and I was asked this question, how come you don't readily see signs and symptoms of, early stages of pancreatic cancer? A lot of that has to do with its location. Where the pancreas is actually located. And that's important to know. But you see, there are some basic pancreatic cancer symptoms such as weight loss, epigastric pain, increased blood sugar, jaundice, nausea. And there is some association between pancreatic cancer and depression, believe it or not. Depression, the prevalence of depression tends to be higher in patients with pancreatic cancer. More so than patients with other abdominal neoplasms and even psychiatric symptoms often precede somatic symptoms. But there's definitely obvious signs to an acupuncturist that there's an imbalance of qi and blood, and we're going to pick up deficiency patterns as well as excess patterns. Excess, let's say, in the sense of increased blood sugar. Deficiency, what's causing your weight loss. Stagnation, which can be seen as an excess pattern in the sense of epigastric pain. Nausea, is it initially an excess pattern that leads to a deficiency pattern once you begin vomiting and so forth? Is it as a result of a yin pathogen, yang pathogen? What? This is why it's important to see an acupuncturist. But from a biomedical perspective, depression can be induced through cytokines like interleukin 6. How's the glutamate and serotonin pathways? How have they been affected? As well as antibodies disturbing brain functioning directly or even through serotonin. So there's the possibility of also depression causing cancer. Another sign can be gallbladder or even liver enlargement. And that's if the cancer now blocks the bile duct. And bile can then begin to build up in the gallbladder, making it grow larger. Pancreatic cancer can also, in some cases, enlarge a person's liver, obstructing the flow of chi and blood throughout the liver, especially if the cancer is spread to that area. And like I said, another symptom can be nausea and vomiting. Because the cancer can press on the far end of a person's stomach and partially block it and make it hard for food to get through. And this can cause a person to feel nauseous and vomit and experience pain that tends to be worse after they eat. There can be belly and back pain, pain in the abdomen, or even the back is common in the case of pancreatic cancer. And can be due to, the pancreas growing pretty large and pressing on nearby organs, causing pain. The cancer can spread to the nerves surrounding the pancreas, which often, most times, causes back pain. So pain in the abdomen or even a person's back can also be caused by other things as well. Other symptoms can be blood clots, in some cases, the first clue that someone has pancreatic cancer is a blood clot in a large vein, often in their leg, DVT. But I'll leave that for your primary care physician to discuss with you, because you have to understand something. Health is wealth. The wealth, it's not in the bank or in the safe, or in a cryptocurrency account or an app on your phone, and the wealth is not in your pocket, your purse, or your wallet. The wealth is not under your mattress, it's not under the doghouse in the backyard, and it's not in the shoebox in the closet. The wealth is in you. Okay? But just some of the general signs and symptoms to revisit for you to look for, like abdominal pain that can radiate to your back, light colored stools, bowel movements, loss of appetite or unintended weight loss, dark colored urine, yellowing of your skin, and even yellowing of the whites of your eyes, itchy skin, fatigue, diabetes that's becoming more difficult to control, blood clots. These are a few things to look out for. A lot of this and more an acupuncturist would pick up right away. And understand something, it's common to have pancreatic cancer and you won't even know it. You won't even know you have it. Because it's hard to detect early. So even when your acupuncturist is palpating you, the tumors can be so small, and also, we won't be able to feel it. Or a medical doctor won't be able to see it through tests in which they would do during a routine physical exam. And most of the signs and symptoms I've discussed they can mimic other ailments. It doesn't have to be pancreatic cancer, and that's what also makes it difficult. But if you notice middle back pain, it could be a sign of pancreatitis. That should ring alarms, set off alarm bells. But if you want to avoid a lot of this, I could sit here and tell you avoid alcohol and lots of this processed foods and sugars and high fructose corn syrup, and don't smoke. But you know what? I'll just tell you, simply put, I'll just tell you this one thing. Just simply make acupuncture a part of your life. That's it. Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?